Hello, this is Michael with GLG America, and in this video I wanted to talk about the difference between attained age insurance rates and issue age insurance rates and how those affect the premiums in group insurance programs that you might pick up through your employer or that you might be responsible for putting in place if that's your responsibility. So let's get into how that works and why this is important. Now, during enrollment times, you have the opportunity to pick up some life insurance and some disability insurance sometimes, and sometimes some critical illness and maybe some other programs. And a lot of these programs are set up on what are called group contracts, and these rates are negotiated with the insurance company. And then if you're sitting there looking at the rates, you're often provided like a table that shows you what the rates are for different ages. And these ages are usually in age bands that can either be in 5-year increments or in 10-year increments, depending on the program. So once you have that table and you know how much it's going to cost you at your age now, the next question you got to ask is, well, what's going to happen to the rates going forward? And a lot of plans are set up to be attained age plans, where if you get older, then you get into the next age bracket, well, then your premium is going to go up to whatever the rate is for that particular age band. So for example, let's say you're 32 years old, you're in the 30 to 34 age bracket, and whatever the premium is there. Well, once you turn 35, you're going to go into 35 to 39 bracket, and so you'll pay whatever the premium is for that age bracket. And that's called attained age, because it means as you attain older ages, you'll pay the rate for that particular age band. Now, on the opposite end are issue age insurance rates, which means that whatever age you are when you sign up at, you keep that issue age. And so, for example, the 32-year-old who's in the 30 to 34 age bracket, when they turn 35 and 40 years old, well, they always get to stay in the 30 to 34 age bracket at the age of 32 where they started at. And that's called issue age. Now, between the two, it might be ideal to have issue age if you can negotiate it. It's just going to depend on the product and the carrier if it's available. And you'd want to maybe compare the two if you're responsible for selecting these for employees. And if you can get them issue age, you're going to want to try and do that, because the attained age programs, particularly like in programs like critical illness, for example, well, it's going to price employees out of it at a time when they probably would need it most. So whenever possible, I try and get issue age rates if I can do it. Now, keep in mind a couple things here that's important about these rates is that once you're in age bracket, remember that those rates might not necessarily be guaranteed in a group contract like that. So from year to year, those rates for those age bands can potentially be adjusted. It's going to depend on the plan. A lot of plans have like a 2-year rate guarantee, and depending on experience, so those things can be factors in whether from enrollment to enrollment, your rates would stay in the same in the age bands that you're in, or for the future ones that you're going to go into. So number one is those rates may not necessarily be guaranteed, although they might be pretty stable. The second thing is that each product could be different. So critical illness might be issue age, and disability might be attained age. So you got to look at each program and kind of understand, okay, each program is going to have a different rate structure potentially. And if you can coordinate them all to be the same, that might be beneficial to you if you can do that. And the final thing is that when it comes to these rates, every year the plan could change. So because they're group insurance programs, you don't control them. The group may at any time decide, hey, we're not going to offer issue age rates anymore. We've selected a new carrier and they're going to have attained age rates. So, recently I did an enrollment where an employee who's like 20 some years old could pick up $100,000 of group term life insurance and stay that age then as long as they offered that plan. But I had to, as much as I stressed they needed to max it out because they got to keep their issue age, I had to also remind them that that's only good as long as the employer decides to keep that plan in place, because they can always change it. So keep in mind the rates aren't always guaranteed. They can maybe change. They'll be different for different products, and you don't control the programs, then from year to year they can be different. So if you can get issue age, that's really nice, but you can't always negotiate that in every product that you offer. So any questions about the difference between issue age and attained age, put them in the comments and I'll be glad to try and help you out.